I've just had a charity boxing match for ultra white collar boxing, and I raised, I can't remember the exact amount, about £440 for the British Heart Foundation. Now, I'm going to give a review of the experience. I'm going to give a review of the fight. I'm going to try not to ramble on forever and ever because I have a habit of doing that. I'm going to try and keep it as succinct as possible. Now, I will be doing a reaction video to the fight. However, their footage doesn't drop for, I think they said around 6 weeks. And I've just had the fight over the weekend. So I'm not going to be able to do a full, I mean, I have mobile phone footage, but I'm going to wait for their recordings because those are going to be the proper official, like it's going to look better. I might slice in a couple of clips here and there in this video just to show you kind of what I'm talking about. Get punched up to raise some money. That's the thing.
You are going to get your ass kicked.
But I did it. It's 8 weeks of training. It's a charity of your choice. After the 8 weeks of training, you fight somebody at the end that they match you with, who they, after watching you, they base it on your ability. The first things are your ability and your fitness, because, you know, if you're mismatched ability or fitness wise, you're going to get badly beat up. And then it's stuff like weight, age, height, blah, 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 blah. But the first two things are ability, fitness, right? And then the rest of it, they have to match fairly evenly as well. So yeah, 8 weeks of free training. The training is twice a week. Tuesday, Thursday, and then anything outside of that you choose to do, you choose to do. Some people did, like, so my gym, they do a boxing class on a Monday and a Wednesday. Some people was doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because obviously the free training is Tuesday, Thursday. I know a man that was doing like 5, 6 sessions a week, all 4 boxing training, then a private session on a Saturday, got injured. So as much as you can do as much as you want, I think for me, it was all a level of being sensible for my level of fitness, innit? Because you come into it a certain level of fitness, don't go mad. You know what I'm saying? If you was doing no exercise, don't come and start doing 6 days of exercise. That's how I was looking at it, but everyone's looking at it different. Anyway, I've already explained this in a previous video on my old channel, but my motivations for doing so, this is not in any particular order of importance. No, let's start with the charity. So I've always wanted to do some form of charity raising. I've never kind of felt confident enough fitness wise, because I've never really been confident about my health and fitness. I'm not really a health and fitness guy. I struggle to stay motivated. I get bored quickly, and that's not just with health and fitness. That's with everything in my life. I get very bored very quickly. So I've always wanted to do some form of a charity event. And like I said, like heart conditions, you know, it's ravages a lot of families. It's one of those ones, man. It's dark. The heart conditions, man. And, you know, I've got a lot of family members on my side and then the in-laws side who, you get me, are having these issues with their tickers. So I wanted to pick a charity that meant something to me, and I've always wanted to raise money for charity. And shout out to Rue Fitness. I tag him or something, but Rue Fitness, he did a marathon last year, and he raised money. Do you get what I'm saying? And stuff like that. It's inspiring. It makes you want to do the same things. If you like fitness, follow that page, but it makes you want to do the same things. Do you get what I'm saying? So that was a bit of inspiration for me. So that was partly it. Second of all, before where I'm at the moment, I was kind of in a bit of a dark place because I was in a job that I hated, that was shift work. Do you get what I'm saying? And so it, not only did I not enjoy the job, it took over my life. It took over my mental health. My mental health was mangled and my physical health really suffered. So where I wasn't really fit to begin with, I came out the other side just a mess, just a fat mess. And I know fat is a bit of exaggeration, but I wasn't in good shape. I wasn't in good shape at all, physically or mentally. Spoke to myself in that. Physically or mentally. So when I saw this advert come up on my Instagram, ultra white collar boxing, free training, rare. I said, okay. Also, sorry, the third point, I really like combat sports. I used to do a little bit of Muay Thai, not enough to say like I'm any good or I learned that much, but I did it for a little while. I enjoyed that a lot. I enjoy watching fights sometimes. I'm not like an avid watcher, that's why I have a nerd page and not a boxing page or whatever. But I enjoy combat sports. So yeah, so when I saw ultra white collar boxing come up, it was just after I left this job. It was free boxing training. You got to fight under bright lights. You got to raise money for charity. It ticked all the boxes, and you know, it was a challenge, a fitness challenge, which is something I've always wanted to do as well. And you know, it's for like, it's white collar boxing. It's for normal everyday people, working people to go in and try a boxing match. So that's literally the what white collar boxing is. So shout out to Ultra White Collar Boxing. That's why I decided, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do some research into this company. I did some research. I read a lot of negative stuff and a lot of positive stuff. And you know, you just, at some point, you just got to make the dive. Am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? I said, boom, let me do it. And I'm glad I did. Now, here's the caveat to the free training, because obviously there's always going to be a caveat to free training. You have to sell 10 tickets. The tickets are not cheap. I think the cheapest ticket is like £31. And then the next one up is like £41. And you have to sell 10 tickets. Now, that's not loads of money, but like, you're asking people for £41. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, it is loads of money to some people. I mean, it's loads of money to me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes man, it got the 41 quid, you get me? And you're asking it of people, there's cost of living crisis, so on and so forth. So you're asking it of people, and also you're asking it kind of in some ways for selfish benefits. Now, the event is a good event. So when you're trying to convince people to buy tickets, show them this clip, not even the whole video. You can show them this clip. It's a good event. There's drinks, there's lights, there's dancing, there's drums, there's music. The music is sick. It's a good event. There's boxing. You ain't got, depending on when your fighter's fighting, you ain't got to stay all day. We left after kind of like, not shortly after my fight, but I'll get to that. It's a good event, so you know, if you got the bread, it's worth the bread, innit? So buy the tickets, and support your friend, because they're about to put through 8 weeks of hell. You have to sell those tickets. Now, those tickets don't go to the charity. That's for the running of the training and the events. You have to raise a minimum of £50 to charity. And I'll be honest, in the beginning, I didn't really start promoting it till quite late, and I think that was partly my anxiety, because I wasn't sure if I was going to go through with it at a stage. I was kind of embarrassed. I was kind of like really nervous about it. I just didn't really want to tell everyone. So I only told a couple of people in my circle. And then I didn't really tell anyone outside of that. And then one day I was like, oh, do you know what? It's about like, it was like a couple of weeks beforehand. And I was like, I have to tell everyone. Do you know what I'm saying? But for some reason, I was really scared to tell everyone what I was doing. It's really weird, because I signed up from early and I tell no one. So my advice is, if you're going to do it, just tell everyone, get everyone prepared. Get everyone prepared to figure out who your 10 people are going to be. Figure out who's willing to donate to your charity, even if it's a couple of people, blah, 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 blah. So 10 tickets sold minimum and £50 to charity. Shout out my brethren from uni. I don't know if he's going to want me to say his name. I'm going to say it anyway, Ali, yeah. And I'm going to shout him out, because I remember in the beginning, obviously I've blown way over that in the charity donations, but I remember in the beginning I was like, oh, am I even going to get the £50? Am I even going to get the £50? And I'm not going to say how much he put. That's for him to say, but he like, on the first day of me announcing the charity, he's put that, you get me, over that. You feel me? So I was covered. He's covered that immediately, day one. A couple other people put a £5 here, a £10 here. So I was on my way anyway, but he's covered that day one, you get me? So shout out to my man, because that eased a lot of the pressure, because it's a lot. In the beginning, it's a lot. You're training, you're thinking about charity, you're thinking about the tickets. Boom. So he's covered that. Now, the tickets, I had an issue with the tickets, because I've put this link out to everyone. Here's the link for the tickets. Here's the link for the tickets. Here's the link for the tickets. And people have gone on there and been like, oh, it's 5 tickets minimum. Boom. Now man ain't trying to buy the tickets. You get what I'm saying? That's put people off, because it's all a mess now, because I look like an idiot, because I didn't know that it was 5 tickets minimum. But thankfully, when I've gone to my group, everyone else was like, yeah. So you know, when it's like, you figure, oh, brother, man moving nuts. And then everybody else is like, yeah, that messed us up, because people was going to buy the tickets and then it was 5. And it's like, oh, okay, so everyone's had this problem. It's not just me being an idiot, brother. Anyway, so now it's 5 tickets minimum. So now I'm like, oh, brother. Because now you've got a problem, because not everyone knows each other. Some people, it's a 1 man, a 2 man, a 3 man here, blah, 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 blah. Now you've either got to organize to collect the bread from everyone. Remember, you're on a time limit as well, because you got to buy them by a certain amount of time. You don't want the tickets to sell out. So you're having to collect everyone's bread. But you know what collecting bread from people is like anyway at the best of the time. Some people are slow, some people are quick. People have got their own lives going on. People are forgetting to give you the bread, blah, blah, blah. And then if you've got enough money for, you get me, 8 tickets now, you're in trouble, blah, blah, blah. You're the last few people. You get what I'm saying? It gets techie. Cut a long story short. And some people didn't sell enough tickets. Names got crossed off. Some people didn't sell enough, and thankfully their opponents did. And they were able to make a deal with the company. You feel me, Carl? If you don't sell your 10 tickets, you don't fight. If you don't make your £50 for charity, you don't fight. So some people was lucky, but more time, your name just gets crossed off the list, brody. That's it. Cut a long story short, they got tables. I paid for a table. The table was about £410 in it. So that's 10 tickets. So you buy a table, you get 10 tickets, and then I just collected the money. So for me, I cleared my thing off within the first 2 weeks because I didn't want that hanging over me. I just wanted to focus on the training. That was that sorted. But it is a little bit on the stressful side. So my advice is if you're going to do it, get your financial part sorted because that bit is long, fam, and you're just trying to fight. And in your mind, you're like, I'm doing all this training. Am I going to be able to fight? Next now, the training. The training was sick. The way it runs is they got 3 gyms that are training all at the same time in different locations. And then they match you either between gyms or somebody in your own gym. So I was training in a certain gym. Training was good. Like I said, it was twice a week. I didn't do any of the extra classes. I did private sessions. I did a good few private sessions and I was going for runs. So I was doing my regular running and I was going to private one-to-one sessions with one of the trainers in the gym. I haven't even mentioned all this time that I won the fight, by the way, but I won my fight. So the training, it worked for me. Shout out to my opponent. He did really well. He trained hard. He was a good fighter. He was hard to spar in class. I got the W, which is nice. Yeah, twice a week, the training is good. It's very difficult. But within that 8 weeks, you'll be a different person. Don't listen to the scales as well, because although I have lost weight scales wise, I have 100%. I think if I look at my body and compare it to the scales, it goes to show me that the scales isn't everything, because my body is completely different. I've lost loads of weight. I've got way more muscle definition, so on and so forth. I look completely different, like way better shape. And my fitness is way better than it was. And I can tell you, like, from week 1 to so just before I started the boxing training, I had started going to the gym like 2 months before. Before I signed up and I left my old job, I was going gym. You get me, like twice a week, some weeks once. Like it was late, but I was going gym just to prepare myself. I didn't want to go from nothing to, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I stopped going gym when the boxing training started because I was focusing on boxing and running. In like the 7th week of the training, I went to the gym and I got on a treadmill and I couldn't believe my fitness level in comparison to what it was when I was just before the training. You get what I'm saying? I was doing interval sprints and I was like, wow, like I'm doing 25 minutes of, you get me, 1 minute jog, 1 minute sprint, and I'm good. And I'm like, wow, like I could never have done this 8 weeks ago. Like I remember after my first training, so the training on the Tuesday, on the Thursday, my back's hurting, my hips hurting, my arm, you get what I'm saying? I'm mush up from the first session. Thursday now, I'm having to go back. And then by week 8, I'm not even feeling them pains no more. Do you know what I'm saying? That's just normal. That's just, this is normal. You get me? And then boom, boom, boom. I did pick up a couple injuries though. I injured my jaw 1 week and I injured my shoulder. Like, now my shoulder's mush up. Like, I'm trying to give it some time to recover. But my shoulder, like, I'm much better. Like, by the way, lots of people mashed up their shoulders over the course of the training. So the shoulder thing is a big deal. So I got stronger over the 8 weeks. You get what I'm saying? I was determined. My diet, because you're motivated, you're going to diet. Do you get what I'm saying? I cut out all the snacks. I didn't drink. There was one day I drank, actually, a pre-planned event. That was really fun as well. But even then, I didn't get smashed. I got a little bit tipsy. I didn't get smashed. Do you get what I'm saying? One of them ones where by the time I went to bed, I was good. Like I ate better. I didn't get no fast food, so on and so forth. Funny, after the event, like my guests, I was with like the main people, like my family and stuff, because like, people left. Because it's a long event. And by the time I fall, you know what I'm saying? People was ready to go. Some people was ready to go home. It's a long day. And afterwards, everyone was like, oh, what should we get? And it was all fancy restaurants and blah, blah. And in my mind, I didn't say nothing to nobody. But in my mind, I just wanted fast food, bro. I just wanted KFC. I just wanted McDonald's. I just wanted Morley's, like kebab. Like, man was talking about all this. And then we ended up getting some mad expensive steaks and stuff. And it was nice because we was all dressed up and I just had my fight and blah, blah, blah. But in my mind, I was thinking, right, like, I could have ate this while I was training. Like, I wanted fast food so bad, but I didn't want to ruin the vibe because everybody was like, it was all positive and everyone was happy and it's, yes, go and get a nice meal. So I thought, I'm going to keep my mouth closed, but slightly, I just wanted fast food. I'll be honest. Like, and since the fight, but I've eaten my weight's worth of Morley's. Even all now, I'm like, oh, I better get back to my diet because I got a bit mad with the Morley's thing. But yeah, man. So that was all good. Yeah, so cut a long story short, the fight was good. I stuck to my game plan. I think Some of the classes don't spar as much as some of the other classes. I fought someone from my class. I don't know if it really made any difference, but the sparring is tricky. But I enjoyed the training, man. But it is difficult, especially like towards the end. We were sparring every week. Some weeks it was twice a week, and it did get intense. Like I needed a break from sparring. I felt like, but you got to train for a fight in 8 weeks. And to be honest, how much can you learn if you're not a boxer in 8 weeks? You can learn the fundamentals, and man can give you advice. Because like, even when I watch the fight back, I can see there's problems that I always had that I never fixed. And there was problems that I did fix. And there was things I learned that weren't consistent throughout the fight, especially as you get more tired and more tired and more tired and more tired. Training was good, but it was spar heavy towards the end. But it's good because it prepared you for what the actual fight would be like. And the sparring is good because it teaches you your strengths and it teaches you your weaknesses and it teaches you what other people's strengths and weaknesses are and how to counter certain things, and do you know what I'm saying, and what to look for and blah blah blah. In terms of the fight, as everybody kept telling me, I used my jab. You know, I got a long reach. I used my jab. I used my 1-2s. I used my 1-2s. Boom boom boom. I won the fight just through basically dominating the space and not really giving my person a look in. He got some good hits off. You know what I'm saying? He banged me a couple times. Like, oh, my nose was all bleeding after the fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he didn't clock, man. But like, I'm 1-2 and I'm 1-2 and I'm dominating the space. And I come away with the W. Which is nice, man. But yeah, man, it's all good fun. I think if you're thinking about it, sign up. What can happen? You can either win or you can lose, innit? And then you just crack on. And when you win, which is a 50% chance, by the way, it feels good. Like, I was flying high for days, man. The pictures, the videos of me winning, it's just sick. You just feel sick. And I can't wait for the official footage to drop so I can analyze it from a proper camera, although I've got the phone footage. When you're in the fight, your adrenaline is so high, you can't hear the crowd. I could hear my coach. I was tuned into my coach and I was tuned into the guy. Because obviously on your corners are coaches. So I can hear my coach saying this, that, blah, 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 blah. I'm coming to the corner for the breaks. And he's telling me this, that. I will say this. One, you can probably hear it. I picked up a bit of a cold beforehand. So I think I gassed out before I would have if I didn't have a cold. However, gassed out quick. First round, end of the first round, I was completely out of breath. I had nothing left. I could feel my lungs burning. And I had trained to a fitness level I'd never seen before. And I still ran out of breath in the first round. It's hard, bro. And I think when you think about high intensity interval training, that's what boxing is. It's like really intense and it's intervals because you're throwing combos, but it's not. You don't set the pace. You set the pace, which I tried to do throughout the fight. That's how I kind of dominated. You set the pace, but your partner, the person you're fighting, is also setting pace on you. So you're not in 100% control of that. So there's no like 30-second fight, 30 seconds off, 30 seconds. Like it's whatever. It's whatever's coming at you. And it's very intense. It's mentally draining because of the amount of concentration it takes to dodge punches, throw punches, get your feet right, get your hands right. Which is where if you're watching somebody who's an amateur boxer and they look a bit all over the place, just understand it's a really complicated dance. It's a really complicated dance that you've got to learn, and the steps are tricky. And your dance partner is trying to knock your head off your shoulders. So it's not straightforward. And I see a lot of these rappers getting into these boxing matches, and I see a lot of comments about, oh yeah, he's this, he's that, blah, blah, blah. So you get in that ring, you don't understand. You can lose, bro. As much as I won, when I sparred, I realized I can lose, bro. Like, it's a real eye-opener, like, to what this thing really is. It's not like a street fight. It's different. It's so even. It's so equal. It's so technical. There's so much to learn. Like, it's not as straightforward as it looks on the screen. So fitness-wise and even technique-wise, it's tricky, man. And I remember one of the sparring sessions. Like, bear in mind, yeah, like, I feel like there was different levels of ability, obviously, in the class. And depending on who you were sparring on a day, because we mixed it up all the time. And I remember the first time I sparred someone who was quite good. And not only was he quite good, he was really aggressive. Whereas everyone else was like light sparring, practicing, trying to learn. He was more like trying to punch you up every day. Like, he just never took a break. But every spar session for him was a fight. Which is long, to be honest, because I'm not trying to what's the point? Anyway, I've come in with him for the first time. Bear in mind, we've been sparring for weeks at this point, and I ain't sparred them man yet. So I stepped it, boom, 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 he's banging me in the face. The tempo's different. You get what I'm saying? I got beat up. Let's just put it that way. I got beat up. And I just want to put a disclaimer that was on the Tuesday. The Thursday we fought again, and I got my lick back. I got my get back. it was an even fight, and I even feel like I came out on top of the second one. But the first one, he beat me up, blood. And I was doing my best. And again, yeah, I had a cold then as well. I've had 2 colds in the last 8 weeks. Can you imagine? I don't know if it's the training or what's going on, but I've had 2 colds in the last 8 weeks. This one I got from my son because he's been coughing and spluttering, mashed me up before the fight. And that time, again, it was me and my son again. I don't know what's going on. I think it's nursery, like mashing me up, man. Mashing me up. Anyway, I've gone in that day saying to myself, oh, my breathing ain't right. I'm going to give myself an easy day. I think I had an easy day, but I've got in. And the thing is, it started off easy because I'm sparring the easier guys, the smaller guys. I'm like, yeah. So I can dominate the pace. I can set the pace, blah, 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 blah. They was like, all right, you get me? Probably because I'm beating guys up, the smaller guys. You. I've come back, boom, 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 boom. I'm getting mush up, rude boy. And I'm trying to fight back. I can't breathe. But he was also out of breath. And I think that had something to do with it. Anyway, cut a long story short, he mashed me up, man. And I even forgot why I was telling this story. I even forgot why I got beat up so bad it's giving me PTSD. But I come back on the Thursday and I got my get back. But yeah, man, the sparring is important. And I think it's important. Yeah, that was it. You can lose. You can get beat up on some days. And you think, oh yeah, if I'm gonna get beat up, I'm just gonna do this and do that. You know what man are like, oh yeah, I'll just do a left hook. Like, it's not like that, bro. It's not like that, bro. When your opponent is got more energy than you, when your opponent is just on top of you, you can't get your feet right, you can't get your hands right, your coach is screaming, lift up your hands, oh, your God. You're like, where are my hands? I thought my hands was up. You're trying to throw, you're trying to defend, you're trying to block, and you're just getting punched in the back of the face, and it's a lot, brother. It's a lot. So you can lose, bro. You can lose. And sometimes you go in there, boom, 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 and a man catches you with something clean because you dropped your hand or something, boom, and it takes you a little while to recover. You know what I'm saying? These are the little things that if you ain't experienced it, you won't know, innit? So shout out to everybody that fought. Shout out to everybody that got in the ring. Yeah, cut a long story short, it was sick. You can lose. You lose a lot of weight. It's great training. There's some stress selling the tickets and the charity. But, there was one guy in my group, the same guy that beat me up. He sold like 30 tickets. So, the difficulty depends. And some people sold like 4 or 5 tickets. A lot of people dropped out of my class, lost, I think, over half the group. Some people didn't like getting banged in the face. Some people didn't have the fitness in them. Some people didn't like getting punched in the stomach, for example. Some people didn't like the intensity. Some people couldn't sell the tickets. And other people probably had other personal reasons that I don't know about. I know one guy dropped out because of injury. Like, bare people dropped out. It is tough. It's tough. But if you're thinking about it, it's a good experience. Winning is amazing. I would tell you where it felt like to lose, but I guess we'll never know. And I'm joking. Let me not say that. I might even fight again. Who knows? Don't tell my family because they're begging me never to do this again. But I might fight again one day. Who knows, man? I'm not saying I will. I'm just saying you never know, innit? Like, I might keep up. If I keep up the training, you just don't know. But yeah, man. Like, it's a sick experience still. Like, I'm sure if you lose, it's still a great experience. It's a lot of learning. Because even me, when I watch the video, I'm like, oh, I did this bad, I did this bad, I did this bad, I did this bad. But I did this good. And I'm sure it's the same if you lost. Great learning experience. You'll never experience anything like that. The event is actually sick. Yeah, thanks for watching, man. I think I've said enough still. I've been waffling on for time. How many minutes is this? Lord knows. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is Tutu Reviews. I usually review nerd content, like movies, shows, so on and so forth, or just stuff I enjoy. I've got a long list of like media that I've enjoyed recently. This week I kind of been recovering from my fights. I haven't done much videos, but the videos are gonna come back thick and fast. So follow for some of that stuff. But yeah, man, ultra white collar boxing was sick. Peace.